G'day guys, Matt here, and I've got lucky enough to have Ben Zero join me. We're going to react to the Sporting Eyes Collingwood clickbait video that he just did. So welcome, Ben. Thanks for joining.
Anytime, Matty. Good fun. I haven't seen this video, but I know the content creator and I've watched a bit of his stuff, so it'll be pure raw reaction from me too.
Yeah, I deliberately didn't watch it, so we'll see if a few other people come in and we'll get it going. That was is that AG trying to come in?
So from my memory, this chap is the guy we're going to watch. He normally does some level-headed stuff, doesn't he? Like, it's normally pretty reasonable in the past, anyway.
Yeah, I'm a subscriber,
Yeah.
and watched a bit of his stuff, and he's not too bad. But he did a video a few weeks back, and it was Collingwood clickbait. I'm not certain, but it might have been he had doing something about Dacos going to Tasmania. I'm not certain, but it's not the first one he's done. And when I think Nick put it in Anthony's chat today, and I just saw the thumbnail. I'm like, right, that's I want to have a react to that. Like,
nice.
I'm getting sick of this stuff. Oops, yeah. Turn that off.
Is that the big AFL clubs with even bigger problems?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh god, this will be fun. So we're lumped in with them.
Yep. Yeah, we're as bad as Essendon and Carlton. How many finals have we won since 2000?
Oh, I've run out of fingers and toes, mate.
Yeah. And did you have a was there a presser today with Anthony?
Yeah, at 6 o'clock.
Okay, I missed that. Just these notifications don't really work. Like, I always put notifications.
You can't rely on the YouTube ones. Yeah. Like, say I know if something's coming up, I go in and I see, oh, is there a live scheduled? And I sort of put it on my watch list so that I can get a reminder, because the stupid notifications are sketchy as.
Yeah. Be like, be good to get on like a group WhatsApp chat, because I always see WhatsApp chats because I need it for work. As annoying as it is to have another group, that way you know, okay, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
Did he change the time? I thought it was like 7 normally.
It's meant to be 7. I think he had a family dinner, and then he had that quiz thing at 8 o'clock as well.
I was on that.
Oh, how'd you go?
Me and Sean were second last and last respectively. So
no way.
I'm hoping to improve.
I would have tipped you guys to win.
What? I thought I was in with this. Well, it was all 2000 onwards. So the young lads sort of had me there, and the one I went out on, it was who did Collingwood play in the last round of 2022? And me and the other guy said Carlton, and I thought I'd just pipped him, but Anthony said, no, Matt, sorry, Matt, just missed out. But I think it was, I probably did get pipped, but I didn't hear it because of the delay.
No, there's delays. It's hard to do with like how it was 8 people or whatever, and delays. Yeah. That's good on him for having a crack. I'm going to watch it later or tomorrow probably at this rate.
Okay. No, it's a good idea. Oh, there's Age.
Good evening, Woodsman. Good evening.
Evening. Thanks for joining.
Mate, I'm super pumped for another Collingwood channel out there. So, mate, it's going to be a nightly occurrence soon. It's going to be every night. We'll have Collingwood content out there, which is great.
Who needs sleep?
Yes, absolutely.
Who needs sleep, mate?
I'm very lucky because while it means I've got to start work early, a lot of the time I've got 4 hours on you guys, so I can do the marathons a bit easier.
That's true. I forgot you're in Thailand, aren't you?
Yeah. So that'll change to 3 hours, I think, come Easter or in the next couple of weeks. When does daylight savings?
Yeah, that's it.
Finishes in the next week or two, isn't it?
Yeah, this weekend, I think, isn't it?
I think it's 2 weeks.
Oh,
no, it is next week. Next weekend. Yeah.
Next weekend.
So, yeah, we've got an hour to sleep in on Monday morning and Sunday.
Bonus.
I used to always get confused as to when you're putting the clocks back and putting them forward.
Oh, mate, with the phones now, you don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah, it's automatic, automatically updates. So, just to update you, Age, I just decided to do this channel because I see Collingwood content out there. A lot I like, a lot I don't, a lot I'm sort of 50-50 on. And sometimes I just want to get it off my chest. And so I thought this is the type of thing where if I see something like this video that came out, I can just jump on and just react to it straight away. And
mate, I was listening, I was listening today to your chat last night. Great concept, great idea. Because look, people out there can call us sooks and whatever they want, but the reality is you got to call out some of this crap. If they're happy to use us for clickbait, we can more or less go to town on them. To be honest, I reckon it's fair game. We get attacked from pillar to post. We're Collingwood. We get how it works. But super excited because if these people are held to account a little bit more, look, not that they probably care and it probably helps their channel, but you know what? Whatever. If you can vent your spleen, it's a good space to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, hopefully we will, as there'll always be a panel, I assume, we'll be reacting to a lot of channels that I like and that we all like. And like we did a bit of a reaction to you were on Mix, the Collingwood versus the Buy, so we watched about an hour of that because I was in and out, I didn't get to see that. So and obviously I love Mix channel, and then we did a bit Nate Talks Pies, so we watched a bit of his. Now I didn't agree with everything Nate was saying, most of it, but that's going to be the way it is, isn't it? Really like his channel and people like him and Mick and Anthony and these guys. It gives us something to do on a weeknight rather than have to watch 360 and Kane Corns and all those guys. So, and I think it's really healthy to have debates, within the Collingwood community. You're not always going to agree with everyone, but at least when you're talking with Collingwood supporters like us, they might not have the same opinion as you, but at least they're informed. And because the mainstream media isn't, apart from someone like Nathan Buckley or Tony Shaw, who obviously still love the club, they all come from a place of, they're just like every other Collingwood hater. They hate Collingwood. So their predictions are biased by them hoping Collingwood don't succeed. And then they're ignorant to what Collingwood's doing. So they make their decisions based on hate, hoping that Collingwood lose, and ignorance because they don't research on what's going on with Collingwood. But at least with Collingwood channels and people who comment and have their opinions and converse, at least it's based on some reality. They just may have a different opinion to us or to me or to you or whoever. So that's sort of...
And that's spot on. That's spot on, mate. Because what you got to remember as well is your average Collingwood supporter, they're going to be critical with things that they see as well. But the difference between a Collingwood supporter that watches week in, week out as compared to the mainstream media is the fact that, we're going to be real honest about things, whereas they're just viewing things from a point of hate. You're spot on. Already this year, I listen to Gary Lyon a lot in the morning and that, and it's just pure hate. Like there's always the undertones of hatred. Now, I don't mind if there's, the positives thrown in with the negatives, but there's always that undertone of hatred that you can pick up in certain, commentators and stuff like that. That's why when I hear guys like Matthew Lloyd and stuff who sort of don't ooze any of that hatred, they're pretty good with their commentary. Jimmy Bartell's another one who I love. They're really the only ones I can listen to. Because they put aside really any hatred. There might be a bit of banter in there here and there, but in terms of the hatred, you can tell it's not there, or not the same way. They're more honest. And you only have to look at a guy like, I know you're overseas and that, but Ken Hinkley's just sort of entered the media space as well. And, within three days of being in the media, he's already saying, oh, Wanganeen Malira is better than Dacos. Just this look, I get it, because it's going to create traction. It's going to put you on a pedestal, because people turn around and say, look, he's bloody, Wanganeen Malira is better than Dacos, blah, blah, blah. Look, I get it. I get how the machine works, but in the same aspect, we just want honesty, and you don't get it a lot of the time from the mainstream media. So, look, we know it's dying slowly, and stuff like this is going to, start taking over, especially at a club level. So, yeah, it's great. It's great to actually have honest conversation with people. And you know what? They don't even have to be Collingwood supporters, but if you can have a chat for someone who is just genuine. Like, I loved having chats to anyone who I know is just genuine, wants to have a genuine, honest chat about footy without this undertone of, oh, but you're Collingwood, we hate you, or he's overrated, or all this crap. I'm not interested. I'd much prefer to have an honest dialogue with people about anything to do with Collingwood, football, anything, without an undertone of hatred. Because at the end of the day, it's almost unbearable for us to listen to the mainstream stuff these days. And you know what? That's why a lot of Collingwood fans will turn away, and they'll jump on stuff like this. That's why you got guys like Andreas, Mick, Nate, Anthony, the whole lot of them. They're slowly, they're just going to keep taking over, because this is what Collingwood fans want to hear. They want to hear honesty from their own kind, not with no undertones of hatred.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you can add the Collingwood rant in there.
The rant guys are fantastic.
The Into the Woods.
Absolutely.
I love those guys.
Dermot. Yep.
I love those guys. They're hilarious. So we're going to be reacting to them on a regular basis just to have a laugh.
I listen to them on my walks. They're the best, mate. I just keep walking until the
Michael
podcast is
and
over.
Dermot. Wow. They're going to.
I'll tell you one I'm shattered about. I'll tell you one I'm shattered about. I don't know how far you guys go back, but Pie Hard called it a day a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you ever used to listen to their podcast, but I used to love that.
Pie Hard. See, I'm only sort of new to Collingwood creators apart from like Swoop Luke, who I've known about for years. And the last couple of years, I guess as you start to subscribe to one, the algorithm starts to send you more. And but no, I don't know of Pie Hard. Good name.
They were fantastic. They were a Collingwood culture podcast. So they'd vaguely talk about the games and stuff like that, but it was more about sort of a little bit of the behind the curtain of the club. They were fantastic. You can still find all their old episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and that. I encourage going back, because it's such a great listen.
That'd be good. We could watch one of those one night and just on a live.
Fantastic they were. But yeah, they called it a day.
It's a shame. I guess people have got busy lives and have to move on sometimes. But just going back what we're saying about the mainstream media, like Jimmy Bartell and Matthew Lloyd, I have no doubt hate Collingwood, but because if you don't back for Collingwood, you hate Collingwood by default. I get that. I'm a Collingwood supporter. I hate Carlton. I hate Essendon. Okay, I hate Geelong, but I've got mates who are mad Carlton supporters, mad Geelong supporters, mad Hawthorn supporters. But we can talk intelligently about each team, and we're happy for them when their teams win or are doing well. I don't want to see Essendon down the bottom or Carlton down the bottom because of my Essendon and Carlton fans. Does that make sense? So someone like Matty Lloyd, that's right. So someone like Matthew Lloyd and Jimmy Bartell can put that aside because they can see, well, I'm a sporting commentator, so I'm going to focus in on the facts and not keep this emotional hatred out of it. And they're obviously sort of decent chaps as well. And there's not many of them in the media. Maybe Jonathan Brown is pretty, you know, he doesn't come across as someone like that. But there's obvious ones that are just awful, like Jordan Lewis, Cornsey, obviously, Hodge, like, and these special comments people. I can't remember what game. What game was when Maynard took the mark in the goal square and they called it not 15 and they immediately pinged him.
Yeah.
Was that against the Saints?
Yeah.
Did you hear Anthony Hudson going off his head?
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah. Happens every game and they don't have the same reaction.
It was just, he just went total into Nuffy hating Collingwood mode. You know, that's holding the ball. That's holding the ball. Like, how often do you see someone take a mark when it hasn't gone 15? They never made it to the rule of the law. Maybe that's holding the ball, but they never ever pay that. They say not 15, not 15, not 15, not 15. I'm balling it up when the guy just sort of gets caught. But yeah, it's infuriating.
Yeah, turn the volume down.
A bad one.
I do, yeah. Like if I'm watching a Brisbane any game where there's music played after the goals, I've got my mute ready to go, especially Brisbane. Right. In fact,
they're all doing it now.
Charlie, it's annoying. If Collingwood ever start doing that, I don't know what I'm going to do.
We'll do the member survey and say, get rid of it, please. We don't want it. We want the Collingwood chant, not hip hop and crap.
Yeah. I like to see Charlie Cameron go to gather the ball on the half forward flank. I'm already muting it. And I love that song as well. He's ruined it.
Yeah, that's the problem. I always got a laugh out of Joe Danaher. He had one of the Disney songs from Frozen that my daughters love. He must have done it for some jokey reason, but that was hilarious at least. But, you know, that wasn't when they were bloody back-to-back premiers.
You know what's interesting? You know, is it someone has Sweet Caroline that plays? Is it Rayner?
It's Rayner, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the premise behind that song? What it's about?
No, let me know.
The Caroline. You can Google this. The Caroline that Neil Diamond is singing about in late 60s was a 9-year-old Caroline Kennedy.
Oh, that's a bit
now
PDF, isn't it?
Go and have enough of that topic, but just go and read the lyrics sometime and keep that in mind. And
damn, okay.
Ruined that song for me when I found that out as well. But yeah, creepy as. So anything you guys want to touch on or talk about before we have a look at this video from the Sporting Eyes?
The only thing I want to talk about is sorry, Benny.
Go for it, mate.
Bobby Hill looking like he's integrated back, which is a great sign. Obviously there was always going to be a million cameras and photos out there, and I saw Eddie Betts was down there as well. Obviously still going to be support for him. These are all good signs. Great to see. But yeah, like I said, look, I know no one wants to speak out loud about it, but I'll maintain I'm not going to, until he's out there in the flesh, fair income, and lining up in the VFL. Look, I don't want to look too far ahead. I know we're going to be super excited about it, but yeah, just great to see him back, because as I've made my thoughts very clear, long way to go. But yeah, it's we
couple months
we cannot lose sight of how much he let us down last year. I know a lot of Collingwood content creators have been calling for forgiveness and understanding. I get it. I 100% get it. And I'm someone who's battled with mental health in the past too. I absolutely get it. But at the end of the day, it's a football club, professional organisation. We're there to win. We're there to perform. And we need him there full time. Get back in there, mate. You know, and let's go from there. But great to see him out there today. So good. looks
The
fit as
redemption's
well.
in his hands.
Yeah, and that's it. You look in good nick. Obviously his levels might not be there, but the eye test looked pretty good. Like he looked like he was relatively fit. You know, didn't look underweight, didn't look overweight. Looked just like Bobby Hill. So look, touch wood. He might not be as far off as what we might have been thinking, but other than that, that's about it, really.
Yep. Well, my policy at the moment is people are free to talk about it and comment, but I'm not going to talk on the topic. All I'll say is that I will, once he's playing a senior game or he's picked, then it'll be all positive, and that's all I want to say on Bobby.
It's a good place to start.
Having
from,
said
definitely.
that, I am forgiving, and if he was truly sorry about what he's put the club through, absolutely, he's got forgiveness from me, and I got total understanding because I got mental health in my family. So, definitely there for the human side, and I hope he keeps it up, and he gets back in the seniors and can help us win a few games. And that's I won't go saying too much more than that. But
I think the footy should speak for him, shouldn't it? And when the time comes, that's it. We'll cheer. We'll all cheer, won't we?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that'll be the best case scenario for everyone, because we need him, actually.
It's handy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see if I can play this video and not muck it up. I'll share the screen. So this video is called Big AFL Clubs. Are you guys seeing that, by the way?
Yeah.
Big AFL clubs with even bigger problems. The Sporting Eyes. All right, let's see what it's got to say.
The traditional Big Four Victorian clubs might be set for a period of time down the bottom altogether. Collingwood, Carlton, Essendon and Richmond are four of the most iconic clubs in Australia and four of the most successful in terms of VFL and AFL premierships. In 2026, debate and discussion has arisen about their placings in that Big Four due to recent performances on field and even some events off field. So is the original Big Four really that in 2026, or are there other Victorian clubs chasing them and catching up?
Interesting premise. I mean, catching up to Essendon and Carlton.
Already tripe, isn't it?
Like they've been, I mean, performance-wise, they've been out of it for over 20 years, both of them. Richmond look to be nailing it with their rebuild. Like, where would you see Richmond in the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, they're on the up, surely. They look it already.
They could knock off one of the top sides easily. A couple of wins against big sides. So, yeah, the premise is all out of whack. And Collingwood, what's he basing it on? One loss to the minor premiers by 14 points, where one of those 50 meters goes the other way. We probably win that game.
Yep, and mythical age, that's actually younger this year.
Yep, that's it. Oh, an aging list or younger this year. Oh, facts got in the way of my story.
It's the AFL out of everyone that will be hoping the four teams don't parachute down the bottom together. We know Richmond and Essendon are in rebuilds. It looks like Carlton is in a transition that might lead to a full-on rebuild, and Collingwood are floating dangerously in the list management space with the AFL's oldest list and questions surrounding their own next generation. The reality is, the four have carried the recent surge post-COVID of people going to the football, but with early season crowd numbers coming in, there is a small drop-off in fans attending live games, especially with these teams. Now, cost of living, limited ticketing and some public transport issues are genuine reasons as well why the early season crowds have not matched last year's and are a touchdown.
Hey, if you guys want to comment, just yell out and I'll just stop it.
Well, I'll comment on that. That's what. So Okay, St Kilda home game, 82,000, and I was there. It was probably, let's say, 60-40 Collingwood, let's say. And then what? An interstate game against Adelaide. What did we get last week? 62,000 on a Saturday night, which is always slightly down as compared to a Friday night. So, okay, let's say if that was a Friday night, you might have got high 60s, let's say. So, what, 62,000 against Adelaide's a down number, is it? I mean, I don't know if any other clubs are going to draw that big a crowd at the G against an interstate team this year. Like, that might already take the cake.
What did they get? What did they get at the prelim? The qualifying final last year, us and Adelaide. I bet you it wasn't 62.
No, well, that's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, they can't fit that. It's 50. I think about
that's
50
true
max,
too. Yeah, artificial cap.
And he's implying that the crowd numbers are down because of these four clubs. Now, Richmond can be a bit fickle, but Essendon and Carlton are still pretty well performed as far as crowd numbers are concerned. And Collingwood, doesn't matter what we're doing, we always get big numbers. So they've done surveys. I don't know, maybe it was Anthony's channels or one of the other boys, but they were talking about they had surveys about why people had stopped going to the games, and there was different reasons like the rule changes, the cost of tickets. So did you guys read that or hear of that survey?
No, I never got it myself.
I heard snippets. Yeah, I heard snippets of reasons why. But I mean, they're all pretty obvious. Yeah. Especially this year, especially in Australia, a lot of people are starting to feel the pinch. If you're a member, it's different. Your membership sort of stays the same price. But, a lot of walk-ups this year. I know a lot of friends of mine, for example, they might work part-time or whatever, but they're taking on more shifts. They're saying yes to more overtime, things like that. It's just the reality of the situation. You can't just point to crowd numbers and say, "Oh, look, they're down." Like it's so much more complex than that. I know he sort of referenced that, but yeah, again, it already looks like this is going to be a big pile of slop.
Yeah, like Essendon and Carlton have been pretty much in the same spots that have been for decades. Richmond had a very successful period, and it's a clear rebuild, but it looks like they're doing it well. And Collingwood defy what the commentators say every year anyway, and compete. Even when we missed the finals in 2024, who would have wanted to play Collingwood by the time September came around?
It would be interesting to see if he made this video in 23 and had Geelong in there, when they were dropping off and they didn't make the finals, for 1 year.
And who are the possible contenders? What other big Melbourne clubs could be contending with these clubs? As far as, it's just so silly. So many things wrong with the premise. But you've got the Bulldogs. They're never going to get a lot of following. Melbourne fans don't get a huge following. They need to play against Collingwood to get the big crowds. Hawthorn are the only ones that sort of compete for crowd numbers, and hats off to Hawthorn that they don't stay down the ladder for very long, which is annoying. Then you've got Geelong. Probably Geelong are equal with their crowd numbers to Hawthorn. But yeah, interesting if this was just a video from 2 years ago and he just swapped Geelong out.
Again, it is important to note that crowds are still incredibly high, especially at those MCG blockbuster games. But the Thursday night traditional round one opener had 74,000 attend. The forecast was around 80,000 people. But more surprisingly was the Friday night game between Essendon and Hawthorn. The storyline of Zach Merritt was a main feature of the game, as well as the historic rivalry, but a crowd of 71,000 attended, which was well below the 85,000 expected.
71,000 for Hawthorn Essendon when Hawthorn's doing okay, Essendon are terrible. That's a good crowd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just he's obviously either purposely leaving out the important detail that a lot of the clubs are getting shifty with the ticketing where they're urging you to reserve a seat. So what you're doing is you're scaring a lot of the walk-ups these days. And I don't know what the breakdown is, walk-ups, to a G game these days. I know for Collingwood, it's pretty much G's. Unless you're playing an interstate team, walk-ups are almost not even existent anymore. But yeah, other clubs are starting to feel that now too. I know Hawthorn copped a bit of flack because, they've been doing it for a couple of years where they've only been getting 60,000. I know they did a game against us. They had a home game against us a couple of years ago, and they made it a fully ticketed game. So what ends up happening is a lot of the people that, might not go to the footy too often, once they hear, it's a fully ticketed game, they just turn a blind eye. They say, okay, we won't worry about it now. They don't actually understand that your average fan that might not follow it as closely as us, who might go to 3 or 4 games a year, who just walks up and buys a ticket, they're not entrenched in the culture as much. Once they hear things like that, they're just like, oh, no, too hard. We'll just stay home, watch it on TV. So that they've already spoken that that's been an issue this year. So, yeah, look, the numbers are still good. This is what I don't understand. He just mentioned a few numbers there. You compare that to 10 years ago, we're talking double the crowds. I remember a Collingwood game. I mean, I've been going for close to 32, 33 years now. I remember days 35, 40,000, and you'd be like, oh, geez, big crowd today. Now we're talking, 70 plus, and we're talking that as, we're talking that down. I don't know. I don't understand what they're expecting these crowd numbers to be.
Now, forgive me, but what does fully ticketed mean, actually?
Reserved seats. You have to have a seat, allocated. You can't be
So if you're just your baseline member, right? So you've got the cheapest membership. You've got a 9 or 10 home game membership, or I think it's 11 games or whatever. 11 game home member, right? And you've paid your $200.
Okay.
The Adelaide game, you could just walk straight up, no issues. You'll get in. But if we were playing a Hawthorn, let's say, and it was our home game, the club sends you out a text on Wednesday, and they say, we're expecting a big crowd. This is going to be a fully ticketed event. So your average GA member has to fork out another $8 or $9 to reserve a seat in just, your general admission area. And then obviously they can pay a bit more if they want to sit in, more premium seats. So that person used to just be able to walk up and scan, and if for whatever reason there was a massive crowd, they could find a seat up at the bloody portholes, or they could even stand if they had to, or whatever. But what's happening now is because they're pretty much forcing people to reserve a seat, a lot of these people are saying, well, I'm not going to fork out another $10, or if they've got to bring 2 or 3 kids or partner, a lot of people are just saying, well, I'm not going to spend the extra $40. I'll just stay home and watch it. So they reckon the flow-on effect of that is it's scaring off a few people.
Are they doing it like someone like Hawthorn? They're going to really have over 70,000, really over 60, unless they're playing a Collingwood or an Essendon. Are they doing it for greed so that they can have that extra?
Yes. Yep.
Geez. Yeah.
So it's and their excuse is we need to know the number. So what they don't want is, look, from what I understand, they want to know as close as possible how many people are going to be in that ground on any given fixture. They don't want the old, gates are open and then, they've only accounted for maybe 60,000 people and they end up with 80,000. They'd much prefer to know the number prior so they can figure out, okay, we can open this food store, or we don't need to open this one, we don't need to open this one. Oh, we can close off this section here. Oh, we can, make this. Yep, we can. So it's an exercise in. They just want to know the exact number of people that are going to go to the fixture a few hours before the game. And by making a fully ticketed event, they'll be able to know down to, 1,000 or 2,000 people how many people are actually going to be in attendance. So, yeah, it's just a shifty way to, number one, get a bit more money out of members and supporters. And secondly, so they can know the exact number prior to the fixture, so they can, purposely shut down certain portions or not have as many staff on as what they probably would have otherwise, and things like that. It's just it's a shitty move. It's just greed by the clubs and the AFL. That's pretty much all it is.
So you're saying that if they have a ticketed event and there's like 5,000 seats at the top of the Ponsford stand and there's people waiting at the gate, they won't even let them in if they don't have a pre-arranged ticket.
Yeah, as far as I know, once it's a fully ticketed event, you can't scan in your GA ticket. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure once it gets called fully ticketed, that's it. You have to reserve the seat at that point.
I don't even know if you can do the reserve process at the ground anymore. I think it's all pre-done at Ticketmaster and all that jazz,
Yeah.
That reminds me, I've got to remind my mate to... I'm going to forget, sorry. I used to be MCC membership and I let it lapse. And so I'm trying to get a mate to get me a couple of guesties for Anzac Day. Are any of you guys members?
Yep. Are you going Anzac Day?
Yeah.
Sounds like a chance for a catch-up, mate.
Will you be in MCC?
Nah, I sit behind the Collingwood cheer squad.
But I can go down there. I
think so, yeah. I see that nice shiny MCC gate that they don't let me through.
Yeah, it's like one, like I think, I remember back when I was a member, I could go into that section. So if I wanted to catch up with mates in the Collingwood area, I can go have a beer there and I could get back. Whether they still let me do that. Anyway, I've messaged him. Yeah, so the ticketed games. So Collingwood's nearly all of them, unless they're an interstate game, would be a ticketed match.
Yeah. Right? Yep.
They would be.
So Collingwood against Adelaide, they sent a message out on like the Wednesday. It was like, bring a mate for free, because I think they were anticipating a bit of a lowish crowd, which it was a good number in the end. But yeah, I think the sign's already there that a lot of members a bit, I don't know, either they're a bit wary or the membership numbers aren't the same, because a lot of people are saying, why am I bloody getting a membership if I got to end up paying an extra bit to get a bloody ticket anyway? I may as well just wait until the week of and then decide if I want to go or not, rather than, have every week, fully ticketed game this week, pay your extra $9, pay your extra $20, whatever. Yeah, I think that's where the issue is. And I reckon, look, it might not be a massive percentage change, but, when you're talking 70,000 people, let's say 5% of people are scared off, you're talking 3, 4, 5,000 people that, you otherwise would be getting that you're now probably not getting. So, yeah.
That makes a big difference across the league, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Times that by 18.
You can't scare people. You got to be welcoming. You got to be, okay, yeah, if you can still get in with your GA ticket, but, be prepared that you might be in the nosebleed or you might even have to stand.
To do, yeah. That's all I have to do. Mate, this is it's fully ticketed event. Please book your seats. Because if you don't, you may be knocked back on game day.
Spot on.
Now,
that's all you have to say.
I would go and book that. I don't mind paying an extra $10, but anyone else, they don't want to do that. Well, they'll take the chance on game day.
People don't realise that, I'm a young dad. I've only got the one, but there's some people out there that, husband and wife, 2 or 3 kids, maybe they bring granddad. If they're just battlers and you're talking an extra, $50, $60 out of them every second week, a lot of families, that's it's just not an expense they can afford. And the AFL has just gotten greedy over the years. I think they've realised that this cash cow is getting nice, big, and juicy. They're already in the black by like $1 billion, and they still want more. And slowly, it just gets taken further away from the common man and the common woman. And yeah, the corporate greed has started to sort of sink into the AFL, which was always a people's game.
Yeah. Yeah, they just don't give a shit, do they? Like,
it's sad, mate.
This opening round, like we've had it 3 years now. I have never met anyone or spoken to anyone who says, "Oh, this opening round where like you have like half the teams play and then the other half play their first game," and then it's like, why can't they just play all the teams?
It's a joke.
Just, call it opening round or call it round one, and everyone plays.
It's a joke, mate.
I just think they gaslight. I think they want to annoy people just for the sake of it, just to get up people's nose. Like, and you see a lot of comments on social media why there's so many people who they're just sick. They just think the game's changed too much for the worse and they don't watch anymore. So the AFL can spruik all they like and they'll say the numbers are up, but they could be so much higher if they didn't stop getting in the way of the game.
Sounds like you've just given a counter cause to what this guy is on about. He's blaming the big four in the bin, but really the AFL have stuffed with the game, far more than our teams ever could have, stuffed with our lists, and that's played a huge role.
Yep, and the clubs to a lesser extent as well, going for this extra. You've got members, and now we're going to hit them for an extra $10. So. Yeah. Let's see what else he's got to say. Yeah. Just we've done about 20 minutes and he's only a minute 55 in.
The poor guy. It's just a machine gun.
Now, the Collingwood game against Adelaide saw 62,000 people come out, which is a strong crowd for a Victorian versus non-Victorian side, but that was also down about 5,000 compared to the same game last season. These aren't alarming numbers at all, and perhaps getting rid of the MCG's fully ticketed designation for these type of games in the future will help a few more thousand attend. But performance on field and optimism of the big four clubs is a key reason why the early season crowd...
He did touch on that thing. He did get to that.
Yeah, pretty much said word for word what we were talking about.
Yeah. But that's definitely more of a issue. That's the issue than the big four clubs.
I think so.
Have dimmed. Jake Niall from The Age wrote post round one, but the more pertinent and worrisome explanation for the soft crowds in those games is that Carlton and Essendon fans are tiring of prolonged failure this century, that even the commendable stickiness of the Bombers faithful is slowly loosening, and that Richmond people simply recognise the reality of a list reconstruction that will take much longer than the $100 million bricks and mortar version undertaken at Punt Road. For the AFL and the hope of bumper crowds, it's not ideal to have your four biggest Victorian clubs battling to win.
Again, why are we roped in with these clubs? It's
the views, mate.
It's exactly.
It's 10,000 extra clicks.
I'd like to. So he's got 1,500 views. I'd like to see how much his other videos get. We'll look at that later. But that's what it is. There's no other reason but for clickbait, for views, right?
It helps, yeah.
Clearly, Richmond and Essendon sit at the bottom of the big four. Now, the Tigers have had incredible recent success with 3 premierships since 2017 and are now doing their time in a rebuild, with Punt Road getting a redevelopment as well, and the club playing 1 game in Hobart per season over the next 2 years. It will take time for Richmond to start challenging again. It's hard to find any fault or issue with Richmond and the path they are on, and they did still have over 92,000 members last year and solid crowds. In the ideal AFL world, Richmond are in their natural progression after winning those flags, and they have a plethora of young talent that so far has shown great signs. However, Essendon doesn't get much leeway. We know the finals win drought and the many issues that have plagued the club since 2000. Their rebuild might even be a touch further behind than Richmond's, and when you compound the lack of any success in the past 20 years, it means no one connected with the Bombers can be overly happy. Brad Scott and Andrew Walsh have preached stability.
Who would you rather be, Essendon supporter or Richmond supporter?
Oh,
Richmond.
I'd top myself if I was either, but Richmond.
What? Oh, I'd much prefer to be Richmond.
Yeah.
They've just
because of the list position, you mean, or just in general?
The list, but just confidence in their off field.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Mate. I just don't understand. What did they think was going to happen with Richmond? You win 3 flags, you have a great coach, you get to the end of that era, they've done the ballsy thing, the right thing, and they've just said, all right, we've exhausted every last, bit of juice out of this list. Now it's time to, hit the draft hard. How anyone can be critical of Richmond is just beyond me. I'll tell you now, what my best mate's a Richmond supporter. He thought, like a lot of supporters in, St Kilda sports, he thought he'd never see a premiership up until, 7-8 years ago. He said, this club's a shambles, that we're never going to see success. And then bang, bang, bang. And now they've done the gutsy thing and they've just said, no, all right, time to completely reset, go again. And you can point to things like North Melbourne and say, look, it doesn't work. But the difference with a team like Richmond is they've got form, they're coming off the 3 flags, so you've got time. You can't just 2 years go again. Like you build it up again, you find the next Dusty, you find the next Trent Cotchin, and you go again.
Yeah. Yeah, like this is he should have just done a video if it's, if he's legit, and it's just Carlton and Essendon. Because Richmond's a totally different situation. And if I was a Richmond supporter, I'd be super excited. They're probably not going to make the finals, but I'd love going to watch the game and watch their young kids. I'm sort of jealous in a way, because I'd love to see us have some more promising young kids and be able to go watch them. So they're totally not in this conversation at all. And Collingwood aren't, for different reasons, which we mentioned.
Which it looks like they have, which is good, but that doesn't quicken up the speed of a list overhaul. The defensive issues the club has had well before Scott got there are in focus again in 2026, despite personnel in that part of the ground being in good order health-wise. Like Niall said, the prolonged lack of success does get tiring and is in part an explanation of Essendon's stalling membership since 2019, when many other of the AFL clubs have boomed in total members. Despite optimism this next generation of Essendon players can finally have an impact on the competition, it's hard to see that right now at the bottom of the AFL, and that does affect fans coming out to support the team. Like Essendon, there is still a sense of uneasiness with Carlton. Sure, they beat Richmond and bounced back with a win after that Sydney game, but it was as bad a win as you can get, if that's even a thing. 1 goal in the entire second half, and so many similarities to that Swans game. The Blues just stopped, played slow, and kicked long down the line. We know Carlton are changing their game style, and with that a whole new squad has emerged this season, but the fade-out frustrations are real. Last year, Carlton were a relatively good first half team in terms of points, but the worst point differential team in second halves. Something has to be up with that. Are the players out there getting nervy in the second half, or are their fitness levels behind most in the competition? It's been an annoyance with Carlton fans despite the overhaul and many other parts of their game. Everyone knows there has to be some patience with Carlton in this period of time, and the positives of guys like Jagger Smith, Harry Dean, and a fully fit Sam Walsh are exciting. But for 2026, it looks like the beginning of a transition far more than it being close to the finished product. Collingwood might be veering off the cliff of being that finished product of 2023. Now they should still be in and around the finals mark, and therefore their crowds will still be bumper, but on field they're a real issue. The on-ball group in the first 2 rounds has been well beaten, especially at centre clearance, and we know the issues they have ahead of the ball. Jack Buller, Dan McStay and Tim Membry as the taller forwards have not had any impact, and this was admitted by Craig McRae post-Adelaide. We're not getting much out of our key forwards. That's real. I'm not going to shy away from that. We've got work to do on that. I think there's a connection breakdown at times. Collingwood have scored just 78 and 79 points in their opening 2 games, and compared to some other high-powered teams, those scores don't look like they will cut it in the big games, despite Collingwood's defence still looking as experienced and as strong as ever. There have also been some questions.
He just said it. As long as if our defence is sound, we'll get better in offence. So,
yeah.
And with did he say our defence is experienced and as good as ever? Something like that?
And as strong as ever. There have also been his experience. Scores don't look like they will cut it in the big games, despite Collingwood's defence still looking as experienced and as strong as ever.
I would have thought when Murphy was there, it was a bit stronger.
Yeah, but also know how and know more. So we're doing it with Billy Frampton and no other key size defenders. So
absolutely. Like I said in the post game against Adelaide, like the defence did really well. That we thought we'd lose the game there. In the end, the defence was the best third of our ground. The midfield got slaughtered. Ruck got slaughtered. Forward line, apart from a little burst from sort of Elliott and Shooter, the forward line was a disgrace. So, that's the first thing he's actually said that's half right there. Yeah.
And the midfield, we pretty much broke even around the ground, but we got killed in the centre square. And if we can, I'd really love Jeff White channel to do a reaction video or whatever on what's happened with Darcy Cameron and what's changed since the State of Origin, because he's going up with probably the best in Gorney and was breaking even with him, but he needs a bit of help. And one of the things we can do is to get Steen in there doing a lot of the centre square. Then he floats down to the forward line, and then Darcy Cameron can do around the ground. That could be something that could help us, because Steen looks to have a pretty good leap in the ruck.
Steen's the only one I'd risk bringing in blind. You know what I mean? Like without the AFL playing VFL this year, but because I think I've seen enough in pre-season to see he's so athletic and can jump. He could really, exploit that rule a bit more.
You said it perfectly,
he doesn't
Matt, sorry. You said it perfectly in the post game, I think. You said, look, most clubs this year, it looks like they're going to play the 2 rucks with the extra man on the bench. There's nothing stopping you playing Steen and just having him exclusively in the centre bounce contests, and you still have Darcy Cameron around the ground. I think that combination would actually work really well. And you can sort of, not that you'd have to hide Steen, but you could almost have him for the centre bounce, and then once there's an opportunity, you drag him. And then you just rinse and repeat. So, look, at the end of the day, we don't have a leaping ruckman. Steen probably is the answer, and you got to start playing him at some point. So, it seems obvious to me. I know that they trust Cameron. This is the thing. They trust Cameron because in previous years he's shown it, but 2 games this year he's been slaughtered out of the middle. So, you got to look at the facts and you got to say, okay, maybe this rule's cooked him. So,
he can still be of value. He can still be of value.
Around the ground.
He just needs a chop out in the centre square, which, by the way, the options we're gonna have a new name for, because we can't call it centre bounce. So what do you think of these? I brought it up last night. First, we call it the first tap. We call it the first jump, or we call it the first toss, which is my personal favourite. Because you can't call it the first throw. Or the first throw up.
Yeah.
Tip off sounds too basketball-y as well.
Yeah. The jump ball we used to call that as well in basketball.
Yeah.
But no, getting back to that.
The first ruck.
Benny? First ruck?
The first
that
ruck.
works.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
First ruck.
It's Aussie.
There have also been some questions raised over McRae's game plan that has held Collingwood throughout long seasons. They are a kick long to contest team who get numbers around the ball and run from there, but with the stand rules enforcement and the speed of ball movement by both kicking and forward handball in vogue, and leaves the Pies as a bit of an outlier. The overall concern with Collingwood and a big downfall should be beyond this year and maybe as far as 2028. They still look like a viable team and the best right now out of the big four. But that cliff is fast approaching unless things change dramatically, and who knows, they could join Essendon and Richmond as a legitimate rebuilding side very soon.
Absolutely proving his ignorance there.
The old cliff.
Yeah,
cliff is the key word. Off the cliff. It's the catchword.
Oh, they love it. Geelong's been falling off a cliff for 10 years, and now it looks like we're falling off a cliff.
Geelong have been doing it for so long, you could just call them Sylvester Stallone at this point.
Yeah.
Still haven't fallen.
Mick designed a team for, I think it was 27 and under. And there's only a few speculative players in there, but it's a pretty good side. And so that's leaving out people like Schultz, people like, I think Josh Dacos is on the border, people like Houston. So we've got some really good players in that late 80s. That's late 80s, late 20s. They're not that old. They're going to clip that. Someone's going to clip that. late 20s. We are lacking in that mid-20s range. That's where, but we can fix that with free agency.
Yeah, I mean the cliff, like it's such a clickbaity word, and you know they love that word. But what's the cliff? What do they think we're going to go from? So prelim last year to what, 3 or 4 wins this year? Like what is a cliff?
Yeah.
I don't actually understand.
That sounds like what it is, isn't it? Yeah, just a complete drop all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't understand. What? So have we fallen off a cliff if we go, let's say 12 and 10 this year? Would that be falling off the cliff? I don't think so. I think that's just okay. Well, yeah, we don't have the team to contend, so we're falling back in the pack and whatever. Then you go from there. But yeah, I just the cliff. So what? We're going to end up with 3 or 4 wins for the year, are we? Like, come on. It's just such ridiculous commentary.
If we were to lose Pendles, Sidey, and Howe, we become the 6th youngest club.
Wow!
So
there's
your cliff theory gone. And have we got a decent? Love Pendles, and I think Sidey and Howie are really showing signs. This is definitely going to be their last year. But we're a pretty good side without those 3 guys. We're going to lose 2 of them. And here's how it could look in the future without 2 of those. It's the prelim last year where we could have very easily beaten the Premiers. Pendles doesn't play, and Howe was underdone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you replace those 2 guys with 2 fit men. We're nearly beating. We probably beat Brisbane.
Well, we were a man down with Brisbane. That's the thing, because we lost him straight away. So we lost the rotation. Yeah.
Checkers shouldn't have been played. Howie shouldn't have been played. So that's where we're at when this cliff comes, which is those 3 blokes retiring. That's where we're at. Should be in a grand final, probably winning it. Oh, geez, I'm scared.
I just don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand that commentary. I know they're hoping that we're at the cliff. I understand that. They're hoping that we're just going to fall in a heap. But I got a feeling a few of them are going to be pretty disappointed that even when a couple of these old guys sort of retire and move on, we'll have, decent guys to fill the void. Like I said, this year we're pretty confident that we've got some depth now, and they're sort of younger guys. They just need the opportunity. But yeah, the cliff. So the cliff's going to be, 12, 13 wins for the year, apparently.
I think the challenges is he did bring up a couple of good points, which is the game plan. I mean, he did really regurgitate what he's heard in the media, but the game plan might be an issue. and Fly's unwillingness to promote the youth when it's needed and the managing of players. That's really hurt us in the last couple of years. So if we can get that right, then we are challenging for top 4. Absolutely no doubt about it.
What are you guys' thoughts, right? So when it comes to playing the youth, do we forcefully rest like a senior player who might be okay to play, and he's probably better than that youth? Is it okay, do you think, like that we rest them and let the player have a go? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, did I word that right?
Yep. Yeah, but it depends. Like you don't give Cochrane a game when we're playing Geelong at the MCG and rest Howie.
Yes, yeah. You're right. Yeah, that's too deep. Yeah.
But hang on, Howie's done his calf again. What a great opportunity to put him in against Geelong.
Well, yeah. I mean, against St Kilda would have been ideal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every Collingwood supporter I've spoken to agreed with the Cochrane thing. Anyone that knows anything about, our list and sort of, I have not spoken to a Collingwood supporter that disagreed with that take. Every single one of them said, yeah, don't know why they didn't play him against the Saints. Like it was just the most obvious. It was already getting spoken about pre-season that he's come on leaps and bounds this year. It looks good. And then the spot's there for him in the opening game, and you don't play him.
Well, I think once he wasn't picked, we all sort of knew that it was going to be a while as well, and we wouldn't get a chance to see him beyond that for a few weeks as well. So he wasn't even going to be able to force his way in.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on, Benny.
It's like if he's not going to be played then, like Anthony said the same thing. It was frustrating, but he was right. If they're not going to play him against St Kilda, why would they play him against the Crows?
Spot on.
No way.
My thoughts were, well, they mucked up. They mucked up by not playing against the Saints, but play him now, give him a baptism of fire. But I do understand that. And why would he be played again? There's never going to be a better time when our key backs are out. Just chuck him in there. If he fucks up, well, too bad. Or what if we lose? Too bad. Get these guys in there when the opportunity. Yeah. The poor bloke. I am a key defender. I'm only 19 years old. Howie and Moore are out. Well, I must be a chance against the Saints.
Yeah.
No, sorry, mate.
What you mean, yeah.
So he's like, when am I ever going to get a game? Howie and Moore come back. Well, that's it for me. I won't play again. I won't play this year.
Yeah. It just makes no sense. It really. I would love to be in a team. I know you'd never hear it. I'd never be honest with you, but you just love to be in a team selection panel meeting and hear what the reasoning is behind it, because you can guarantee he's spoken about. And the only thing I can think of is, we're going to trust, we'll trust the older guys. That's pretty much it, really. It just makes no sense. You've got a guy there that, probably chomping at the bit, ready to go against a team that doesn't have real, scary key forwards in St Kilda.
No.
You play him with the view that, the following week against a more formidable forward line, okay, you've blooded the youngster in a game where he's not as needed. He shakes the cobwebs off. He's made his debut, whatever. We probably still go on to win the game. And then you got confidence to play him against Adelaide, against a couple of those gorillas.
Yep.
And look, if he gets slaughtered, he gets slaughtered. But at least you've done the good, right thing for the club to, play the player when required. And then whatever, it's up to him. If he doesn't perform, he gets dropped. But I don't think there'd be anyone that would turn around and blame, the loss on a second gamer. And if they did, they're fucking idiots. And, that's just the reality. You got to have a bigger view. You can't just look to the next week all the time and getting the result. You need to look, to 2027. What's the best thing for the club in 2027? That was playing Cochrane in the St Kilda game and then the Adelaide game. So like I mentioned on Mixed Stream, it's already one missed opportunity for the year. And I guarantee there'll be a lot more, unfortunately, because, unless there's heaps of injuries, it looks like he's already just going to go with the old firm again all the time. I said it on Mixed Stream as well. I probably wouldn't even bring Howe back in, because if he's just fit, we saw what he did against bloody Brisbane last year in the final. When he's just fit, he's nowhere near it. So I'd almost be telling Jeremy Howe, no, you're not back in until you're absolutely cherry ripe, mate. It's even more reason to give Cochrane a go, but we know that won't happen. So
yeah, I'd be more than happy for either of those guys, Moore or Howe. It's not going to happen with Moore being the captain, but I'd be more than happy for them to play a couple of games in the twos. Why not?
Absolutely.
But it won't happen.
So clearly, the medium and short-term optimism for the Big Four is low. Two of them are rebuilding, the Blues are halfway rebuilding while trying to win now, and Collingwood is the oldest of the group, but many expect a downfall. If worse comes to worse and the Big Four turn into the Big Four flops, then who could possibly replace them and gain an
Many are hoping for a downfall. There's a difference.
advantage out of it. Hawthorn and Geelong have to be the two. Both the Hawks and Cats had more members in 2025 than Essendon, and both are not too far off Richmond. On field, we know the success both have had since the middle 2000s up until now, and that always helps in gaining and strengthening fan bases. We know the two have a big rivalry against each other, but trying to foster that into more marquee matchups is harder. There is just so much history and tradition between the...
Hang on, aren't Geelong at a similar age bracket than Collingwood? Thought he was going to say the similarities between Geelong and Collingwood. No.
It's a bit of a mix-up with his contention as well, because is this about performance or crowd numbers? Because there is a relation, but small crowds won't make you perform crap.
Yeah, it's like he's like comparing Geelong having more memberships than Essendon. So what if Essendon starts to light it up on the field? That will
absolutely
will be rolled into memberships. That's what happens.
Yep.
Original Big Four, and even in downtimes for them, we did just see 70,000 people come out and watch them play against each other. AFL fans are incredibly loyal, none more so than those a part of Collingwood, Carlton, Essendon and Richmond, but some loyalties may be tested this year and the next few, and maybe our post-COVID fan attendance boom might settle back to the mean once again.
There you go.
It was less offensive than I thought it was going to be, but still, there's a bit of a mix-up, but like I said, between performance versus crowds. I don't know which one he's trying to argue is the real problem. I mean, not having crowds is bad, I guess, to run a club, but like you said, you start performing, you get the crowds, but a big crowd doesn't necessarily mean a successful rebuild either. So it's a bit of a mix-up there, I think, too. And he's got two factual teams in Richmond and Essendon who are down the bottom of the ladder. Carlton, I mean, it's really an educated guess that they're going to be bad this year, because they still could finish in a wild card pretty easily. And Collingwood, he said we might play finals. So that's not a fail, is it?
Yeah. He says we might play finals, but then he, on the other hand, says many people are predicting to fall off a cliff. So it's
every year we get
which one? Which one?
Look, like I said, it's just it reeks of just let's chuck something together and send it off, and just throw Collingwood in there. The thing with Carlton, look, like I said, none of us like Carlton, I assume. Got to give it to their fans, mate. They're like us. They, could be shit, but they're still getting decent numbers, and that's the reality of the situation. Like these bottom, well, they're not bottom, but these Big Four clubs, regardless, Richmond's really the only one who, you can, after a big, long, successful era, their crowds are going to drop. But, 72,000 at the G the other night against Carlton, two teams that aren't really expected to contend this year.
Thursday night.
What more do you want? Like I said, go to AFL tables and look at crowd numbers from the mid 2000s. and just compare, and you'll see consistently it's like doubled. You know, your random Saturday Arvo game might have got 29, 28,000 back then. Now you're looking at like 50,000 for the average sort of. It's just, I just look. He sounds like he's a young fella, so he's got no fucking idea. But I was there. I've been going to the footy long enough to know, you know, 25, 26, 27,000 at games, you know, and thinking, yeah, these are good crowds. Like, it's doubled, and a lot of those big teams are crap. So, you know, I just, yeah, it's just a bit of slop, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's just really, it just seemed like rushed together. Like it's sort of almost like an AI script, because it's all sort of it was sort of contradicting and didn't really make that much sense. You know, there were points that were true and points that weren't, and then he'd say, however this and however that, you know?
Yeah, it's like almost sitting on the fence as well.
Yeah. Mick saying that he must be a Cats fan in the chat.
Makes sense. It probably makes sense because, he, look, like I said, Collingwood and Geelong now, we're both sitting at 1-1. They got slaughtered in the first round, and then, you know, they were down a fair bit to Freo, and they came back and won. We've beaten St Kilda, who were the fancies, bloody, you know, start of the year, and then we've lost to a team that, you know, are probably are better than us. Let's be honest. They finished top of the ladder last year, and we got within a few kicks of them. So again, I don't understand. We lose once, and it's just, you know, the world's falling in. And I know a lot of our supporters are, you know, guilty of it. But yeah, I just don't understand. If we started the year zipping 2, I'd be, you know, rightfully, I'd be saying, yeah, look, oh, geez, not looking good. But I don't know. Just 1-1. What did people think was going to happen this year? Like, we have a really bloody hard start to the year. And, you know, we all sort of thought we're just got to be on an even keel by, you know, round 6, round 7, and we'll be sweet once the draw opens up a bit for us. But, yeah, I don't know. I just love it. 2 rounds are already getting, you know, these stories that we're in a shambles again.
Yeah, well, we keep hearing that you don't want to be playing well this time of the year. You want to be trying to snag a win here and there, and you only win premiership when you're in top form in August.
Yeah,
that was Ken Hinkley last year. Says you don't win premierships in March. Remember when we flogged them by 80 points?
Yep.
Of course, I remember him saying, "Can't wait to play him later in the year." It'll be he said something like, "They'll face a different Port Adelaide," which is the truth. It is the truth. You want to be
on
peaking.
holiday.
Yeah, but he is right. That what he's saying is correct. You can't look too deeply into these results. You know,
I agree with him. Unless it's Collingwood, 100%. Then look, Collingwood's lost. They're not going to make finals after they've 1-0.
But Benny said this a few weeks ago. And you know it'll follow the same script. No one's thought we're going to do anything this year, right? In terms of like the mainstream media, no one thinks we're going to be anywhere near it this year. But if we do manage to sort of, you know, finish the season in 5th or 6th, all of a sudden they're going to be talking us up just to bring us back down again when we don't ultimately win the premiership. But the reality was, okay, you've predicted us to finish, you know, 10th, 11th, 12th at the start of the year. We're finished 5th or 6th, and okay, we might get bundled out in the prelim, let's say. And then it'll be, oh, they've failed, you know. That's exactly what happened last year.
Yep.
No one gave us a chance
for exceeding their expectation. Yep.
Exactly. You don't get the report cards at the end of the year where they say, geez, Collingwood had a good year considering like where we thought they'd be. No, you get the stories of they've blown it in the finals. Oh, they were 10 points clear on top of the ladder. You know, when no one thought we'd be anywhere near it last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, if the same thing repeats this year and we do sort of go up, you know, to the same standard of last year, I wonder what they're going to do. I'm tipping that's just going to be the same crap again. If we don't win the flag, they'll just hammer us.
Yep. That's why I like doing Collingwood YouTube channels, and I stay away from them.
You have to, mate. For your own sanity, you have to.
But it would be kind of fun to do the odd reaction to some mainstream stuff, as annoying it would be to, someone like Sam McClure. God, is he the most irritating, not just sporting media personality, but he's the most irritating media personality in the world.
Yeah,
he's
been grandfathered in because it's a little bit before my time, but I think his old man who passed away was an AFL journo 20, 30 years ago. And apparently he was a pretty good journo as well. He was pretty good at his job. But, you get the son who gets grandfathered in, and, he can just spin whatever crap he wants to, and that's it, So guys like that, I find it hard to respect any of their opinions, knowing that, they've sort of just got there purely because of, the family name or whatever. And by that same token, I feel the same way about, Eddie's son, for example. Like, clear as day, he's just got there because of the old man. So, you sort of think...
He's likable. Like, he's... I can bear him. He's not.
Of course.
Like I like Eddie, and Eddie's more annoying than him.
Yeah. No, look, it's not that I don't respect his opinions or anything. It's just that he's gotten there because of the family name. So it's up to him to show you. It's up to him to show you that, okay, no, I belong here. You know what I mean? More so than a guy like Sam McClure, who just look, he's a decent media performer, things like that. So he's probably good for TV and whatever else. But at the end of the day, most of the crap he's spinning is just, tripe. To start the year on Footy Classified already with this Dacos thing, I'm just like, oh, here we go. I just knew it. I said, it'll be the Dacos 2 or 3 years now, the contract and all this crap, and they're just going to absolutely dine out on that. And it just becomes absolutely unwatchable.
Yeah. I only ever, I'll like be watching YouTube, and one of their like Footy on 9 or something like that will just come up. It's like a 7, and I can't help myself when I click on it. Just like you see Sam McClure will come up with something stupid, and you see Lloydie or Bartel or someone, well, you just see them roll their eyes like, oh, but they know that they can't really get stuck into him because he's obviously, he's the host and he's very connected.
Yeah. Look, they have to have a Collingwood story every week, even if it's a manufactured one. We already know that. Like, that's just the way the mainstream media operates. They have to shoehorn Collingwood in there. Good, bad, or indifferent, they have to have a story that revolves around us, which is fine. We get it. But again, that makes it real hard for just your rostered on Collingwood fan to actually want to listen to any of the crap. But you're right. When the clips show up, my algorithm knows me. They know I'll watch it. And most of the time I'm just left thinking, it's just tripe. Like, I don't hear this kind of commentary when it comes to, Geelong, for example. You just don't hear that sort of crap, And I was having a chat actually on site the other day with a Hawthorn supporter. He's a great guy. But I told him, I said, can you imagine if Jordan De Goey and, I don't know, let's pick out another game, Jack Inven and Jordan De Goey were caught on that boom lift in the USA. Imagine how many fucking days there would have been 24-hour rolling coverage on the fucking main TV channels about that. And you would have had every man his dog. They can't play this year. You've got to, I reckon you terminate their contracts. There'd be all this crap about it. But when it's a club like Hawthorn, it's, okay, yep, they've done the wrong thing. Yeah, we've been able to sweep it under the carpet for 4 months. And then, yep, we'll just release it in good time. Yep, nice little private interview. I'm sorry, few tears. And then that's it. That's all you hear of it, I just thought, I said, imagine if that was Jordan De Goey and Jack Ginnivan. How would that have gone? It would have been, they'd still be talking about it now. Yeah. They would have jailed him, mate.
You know what's interesting is that, can you imagine if the Bobby Hill scenario was a different Collingwood player? Now, I think we know why it's different for Bobby Hill, and he hasn't got the media coverage that, say, Lachie Neale got. But, like, let's just say it was Lachie. Yeah. What happened with Lachie Neale? It seems that it's similar to what was going on with Bobby Hill, but that was a Jordan De Goey or a Braden Maynard. Could you imagine the media storm? So, in respect, we're kind of like, I don't want to go back to that subject, but we're kind of lucky that it was Bobby Hill, because they've sort of left him alone, haven't they? You know,
very true.
He's back at training. We'll get updates, but it would be 24/7 if it was someone else.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I can imagine if any other Collingwood player had stepped away for mental health reasons or a family situation, I can't imagine how the media scrum would have been just off its head. It would have been rolling coverage. It would have been, every man and their dog coming out to, I mowed Jordan De Goey's lawn last week, and I saw him through the window. Like, it would just be this just crap. You'd be getting absolute tripe every single day. So you are right. The fact that it was Bobby, there's an extra level there where the media have to respect, First Nations people. They're going to be more sensitive to them,
of course,
which is fine. I actually agree with it. It's not being a racial thing or anything. They've got, especially when their family's far away and things like that, they've got other things they have to deal with that, the average player doesn't. But at the end of the day, if it was Jordan De Goey, it would have sent him into retirement, I reckon.
Well, it's like they've got this thing that they care about mental health, but that would be an example to show that no, they don't really.
No.
Yep.
No.
They're more interested in getting sensational headlines about Collingwood than an individual's mental health. Like the way they went after Ginnivan. Like,
crazy.
Soon as everyone hated Ginnivan, as soon as he went to Hawthorn, everyone loves him.
Yeah. Look, Guinea's that guy that you're going to love him or you're going to hate him.
Is that what Collins called him?
Yeah.
He'd be our third best player if he played for us.
Look, Jack's one of those guys that, they say, you either love him or you hate him. No other supporter outside of Collingwood liked him. Let's be honest. Don't even kid yourself thinking that some people were like, oh, no, I didn't mind Ginnivan. No. You all hated Ginnivan. Everyone hated Ginnivan except for Pies supporters, right?
Yeah.
But, I love how the narrative changes once he's at Hawthorn. It's, he's a pretty handy player. Yeah. I actually don't mind his shenanigans. He's a bit of a character. Yeah, none of that was being said when he was at the Pies. None of it.
Can you imagine if Dacos was to leave, how popular he would become? All these people, get a hard ball. Oh, Dacos. Oh,
mate. It'll be, look, and like I said, the Carlton supporters are the number one culprits. And look, to be fair, a lot of the Carlton content creators I follow, they are fair with Dacos, like TJP, which I love a lot of their content. They always say he's a gun. Like it's a fucking no-brainer, mate. Like, it's a no-brainer. He's a gun. You don't need to pick out, but he doesn't get many hard ball gets, mate. What's that? It's not relevant to the. He's a gun footballer. Okay, if you want to pick apart little bits of his game, go for it. But you just make yourself sound stupid when you start delving into that sort of territory,
What should he do? Grab a loose ball and stop so that he can get tackled and not run into space?
Crazy.
My best mate who goes for Essendon, he said it to me. He said, why would Nick get a hard ball when he reads it so well and he's there before anyone else?
Yeah, that's like that. No, what he should do is just stop and let someone tackle him. then it'd be hard.
But what don't they understand? This game of AFL football, Australian rules football, one of the only sports in the world where, there's going to be players with all different attributes and all different sizes, shapes, strengths, weaknesses. You're going to have your guys that are more damaging on the outside, and the game plan's made to have that player on the outside as much as possible. I'm sure if the game plan dictated it, Nick would be getting down and dirty more often. But then you're going to lose his outside run. You're going to lose him being able to sort of cut through the ground because he's just going to be on the bloody deck all the time trying to get cheap, shitty handballs out that go nowhere.
When we played him as an inside mid, he was excellent. He got plenty of contested footy. He's led it many times. That's the big myth as well about all these morons out there, isn't it?
Yeah,
crazy, mate.
We had no choice but to play him as an inside because no one. But now that we're able to get it on the inside a bit more, absolutely, we want him on the outside, there where he can do his damage. And if we had better rucking, just one quick point: when we have Coxie, he gets a lot more clearances when we had Coxie doing the taps.
Oh yeah.
So he's having to get secondary ball when we're losing the rucks in the middle.
It's just bad commentary. That's all it is. And you know what? That's actually one that gets flipped a little bit, where the mainstream media do give Dacos his dues, and more at club content level, they sort of hammer Dacos a little bit. But yeah, I just don't understand. It's a typical thing. I knew one day. I said, wait until one day we have the best player in the comp, how they're just going to take him down. I remember when Buckley was running around, it was the same thing. They'd just pick holes in Bucks' game. And you just think, the guy, look, whether or not you liked him, I know a lot of Pies fans didn't really like him at the time and this and that and the whole Fig Jam thing and all that. But at the end of the day, he was a top 2 or 3 player in the comp for, a 6 or 7 year stretch there. And we were in the bloody doldrums, and he was the only shining light in that team for many years. But I just remember, and this is pre-internet, this is before all that time, but you just, Buckley doesn't do this, or Buckley doesn't do that. It's the same crap just repeating again. Once you have the best player in the comp, they just take him down. Dane Swan, the same thing. Dane Swan used to get hammered. His disposal is shit.
Yeah,
his disposal is shocking. He kicks helicopters. Mate, he's getting 40 and kicking 3. It doesn't matter how the fuck he kicks them. Like, just madness, mate. And it's the same pattern that just repeats again. And like I've said so many times, when Cripps was dominating the bloody AFL for 2 or 3 years there, I said, this guy's a fucking freak. I wasn't picking out bits of his game that were like, this and that. Mate, the guy's a fucking champion. I'll go to my grave and think, geez, Patrick Cripps was a fucking good player. Will these guys turn around when they go to their grave and say, Dacos was a fantastic player? Or are they still going to try and pick holes in his game?
I don't know. It's just like, can't you appreciate someone for their footballing ability? Like, I mean...
They can't do it. If he's wearing Collingwood jumper, they can't do it, mate. But we can. We can go on the other way.
They can't see the humans anymore, They just see a coloured jumper and that's it. That's all they see. They're blinded by it. They can't see a player or a human behind it sometimes. And it's just...
Yeah, it's all emotional.
That's what dictates people.
Yeah. Like when I don't like a player, it's because of their personality. Like, I can't stand Dangerfield, but gee, he's a good player. I'd soon get used to his personality if he played for Collingwood. You know what I mean?
Toby Green, you could be kicking everyone
again,
black and white, couldn't you?
Yep.
That's it. You just look at the football ability.
I even wanted Bailey Smith to play for Collingwood. I can't stand him, but I give him a pass if he was wearing the black and white.
That's the thing. You got to, obviously, you can have, your opinions on, what they might do outside of football or how they present themselves and whatever else, right? Of course, you can have opinions on those things, but when you're just talking about the pure football ability and things like that, you just got to give the guys the dues that they deserve. And I just don't see it with Dacos. I just see constant takedowns of Dacos all the time. And like I said, credit to a lot of content creators from other clubs who just straight away, they come out, he's a gun, he's a fucking gun. And they'll compare, I wish, we had a guy like that. Like, they're honest about their opinion, rather than this tripe of, he takes kick-ins, he gets the easy ball out the bloody back. He can't finish, he's not a great finisher in front of goals. He never takes contested marks. Just every little thing in his game that they just try to take him down. It's ridiculous, because the reality is, whether or not he plays his whole career at Collingwood, this guy has the potential to go down as one of the greatest players to ever play the game. And we should, as a collective, the whole AFL, should be looking at thinking, fucking hell, we're seeing something really special with this kid in his, fourth year? Or is it his fifth year now?
It's his fourth year now.
It's his fourth year. And he's been at this level since the premiership year. His first year is finding his feet. He was still great. But from his second year to now, it has been unbelievable. And how anyone can have a negative thing to say about anything in his game is just, it's beyond ridiculous.
Yeah. Hey, you guys are right to keep going for a bit, because I was thinking of watching a bit of Anthony's press conference that I missed.
Go for it, mate.
I can probably stay for another 15 to 20. I'll hang around.
Okay. Could you do another 40 minutes or something, Aid?
Yeah, yep.
All right. Talk amongst yourself. I gotta go to the little boys' room.
No worries, mate. Ben, you going this week?
Mate, funny, I was just about to ask you the same thing. No, I've got something on Friday, so I've what do you call it? I've claimed the tickets and whatnot, but I'm just gonna give them away. I tried to swindle a few things to make it happen and fit everything in, but I was like, the Marvel thing was probably like it held me back from trying my hardest. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So no, I'll miss this week, and damn shame we've got an away game interstate the week after, and then Fremantle. So I'm not going to be at the footy for 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's a long time, isn't it? Well, look, two games at the G to start the year. No, I'm the same, mate. Friday night, actually, as much as I love Friday night, it's the worst game for me to try and get to with my partner and the child. Partner works a lot Friday night, so it becomes quite hard. And yeah, like you said, the Marvel games are they don't have the same appeal to me. They don't have the same pull. So I don't really try too hard to get there, From where I live, it's just that little bit extra hard to get to. And then getting home's an issue as well. But I think I'll just enjoy it from home this week. But I don't know. It'll just depend.
That's it.
I could potentially still go, but not looking likely.
You never know how you feel last minute on the day. I've done that before, where I think it was the Melbourne game 2 years ago, on the Sunday, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go. So I actually gathered my neighbour who goes to Melbourne and said, "Come on, we're jumping in the car. We'll go down there." I know, we're pushing it, but we should make it in time. And then, what an idiot! The bloody lightning delay at the end. I was like, "Oh, mate, I didn't expect this to be a midnight game." Get home, but it happens. Sometimes those late night decisions or late decisions, you go, "Yeah, I'm just going. Let's just go, see what happens." They can turn out to be good games.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because the last few years I've only been a home member, really. This year I'm home and away, but a few previous years I was just a home member. So it'll be the same thing. You just write off the away games, and then it sort of gets closer to the game. You're like, he's going, they're going. Oh, fuck it, let's go. It gets a bit like that, but it also depends how the team's performing. I try and go most weeks as it is, but the away games have always been. It's just that little bit harder, and like I said, with the shenanigans with a lot of the tickets, a lot of the time, and things like that, it sort of puts you off it a lot of the time. But yeah, I mean, if you get a good crew going and whatever else, you always you got that extra little bit of motivation to get there. But yeah, I don't know. I actually haven't had a good look at our fixture this year, but do we get the back end of the year? Do we have many MCG home games, or is it's more concentrated at the start of the year, isn't it?
Oh, there are plenty. What I noticed though, because I've been trying to find a time to take my daughter, and I don't want to take her at night because she just won't last. All the day games. The next one's Anzac Day, which I can't take her because my folks are going to be going, so I would have used their ticket for her. I think the next day game was against West Coast in like round 10 or 11 or something like that. So I'm going to be waiting a while. Yeah, it is. It's on a Saturday arvo. So we do have plenty of them. They're just spread out pretty evenly, but a lot of night games. And I don't mind the night game because my ritual is I go to a steak joint on South Bank, have a nice big feed, and then walk over to the G. Just to avoid I hate going on public transport, so I drive in and park and then walk back, and it just gives me time to process the game a little bit too. But I don't mind the night games because I get to have a feed and walk over. But yeah, I was just going through the fixture going, yep, which one can I take her to? Nope. And it wasn't until around 11 or 12 and I thought, oh, there's one in the middle of the day. And it's a twilight game as well. And I thought, there we go. That'll be her first footy game, her first male footy game. I'll say we went to the women's a few times last year, but she's ready. She loves the boys, so I can't deny it. I got to get her in there this year.
Yeah, my little one's the same. My partner's a Collingwood supporter as well, and we were thinking, okay, we're gonna find a game this year, but we're sort of not sure if she'll last. A full 4 quarters. So it might be one of those things where we go to like that West Coast game, and if we have to pull the plug at halftime or something, it is what it is, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember with my old man when he used to take me to Vic Park when I was just a young tacker. Couldn't even watch the game, He'd take me, I'd be on his shoulders or whatever, but you just can't see a thing. The kids are a little bit spoilt now. They got, seats
screens,
and whatnot. Yeah, the screens, the seats and things. I just remember going to countless games and didn't even know what the hell was going on. But yeah, my old man used to be like, nah, you just take them. Even if they're not really watching, they get used to the crowd and this and that. But yeah, I sort of wanted to go to a game.
Just bring a little bit of side entertainment with them sometimes, maybe even a book or something like that, and they can get into it. Sometimes at the girls' games, she took the not the iPad, but like the Apple or what do you call them? I haven't seen them in ages. iPod. Just so she could have her music and stuff just in between, and also just to cut the crowd noise a bit. Back at Vic Park, I had binoculars, mate. Like my dad had a box in the rush stand that's not there anymore. And I used to sit there with the binoculars just so I could see certain things. That was one of the coolest things. And I look back at that and go, wow, how did I keep track of the game? Like imagine watching the modern game through binoculars.
Yeah, you probably didn't, to be honest. You're probably just looking at, certain players or whatever, I remember that a lot of the time. You'd be parked down at one end and you just couldn't see the other side. So yeah, you just hope you're where the action is, But yeah, I just remember I said, oh, the kids they're so lucky these days because if it was back in the days of Vic Park when we were growing up, you just couldn't see anything. And I remember having a few games at Waverley and that. I remember thinking, oh my God, like this is just you compared it to like Vic Park, and I just thought, my God, this is as much as we love Vic Park, it wasn't ideal to sort of get kids in there and that. But yeah, I remember a few times going out to Waverley and thinking, wow, this is amazing. So
it's a stadium, yeah.
Well, yeah. Do you remember Waverley at all, or?
I absolutely do. The wooden seats were uncomfortable, but no different to some of the closer seats at Vic Park. I just remember the car park being horrible afterwards.
Horrible.
Nightmare.
Yeah. And I remember too, you had no choice but to bloody drive out there. That was the thing. Like, we grew up in Templestowe, so we weren't super far. I mean, it's still a fair way, but not too far away. But yeah, I remember, you know, people would be coming from the other side of the city or whatever. And yeah, it'll be a 2-hour journey just to get out there. And then, yeah, you'd be stuck in the car park for like, what? I think from memory, what was there only 2 exits or something ridiculous like that for the whole car park? Does that ring a bell? Matt will remember.
Yeah, one was at Wellington Road.
Yep.
And that sort of got you onto the Mulgrave Freeway, as it was called at the time.
Yeah.
And we, growing up in Gippsland, Waverley was always a game that would come up on the calendar because it's easier to get to than going into the G. And my first game was at Waverley in 1981 when Essendon were awful, but Sheedy had just taken over. So here we are, fresh off playing in a grand final, almost favourites, one of the favourites to win the flag in 81. And so Dad thought, this is a safe game. We'll go to VFL Park. Matty will get his first win playing a no-hoper. And they beat us by 89 points or something like that.
Oh, what a bugger.
Yeah.
It was, and it's just a magical memory for Bombers fans because it was like that was the game when they were like, we're back. And we
Nick's
know
backstage for you, Matty. Sorry.
Oh, is he? Okay. I'll bring him on. How you doing, Mick?
You're on mute, brother.
Oh, he's just. I'll have to. Device not connected. Try again, Mick.
I can't remember my first game, Matt. My dad said it was at the MCG, though, so it must have been Melbourne or something. I just don't remember it. It was in the late 80s. The first game I actually remember going to vividly was in 92 against the Hawks, and I remember shitting myself because I'm like, they just won the flag, and we're never going to beat them. And it was at Vic Park, and we knocked them off. Yeah, I can't remember. I definitely went to many games before that. I just cannot remember them to save myself, and I just
you must have been
thinking,
little.
wow, we can beat everyone. So yeah, 92, I would have been 8 years old. Yeah.
So yeah, I would have been 6, just probably about to turn 7. That was around May in 81, something like that.
Yeah, nice.
So it was a fun
Apparently
adventure.
I got scared at the footy, my first game. Dad said I got scared of the noise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you see a lot of the kids now that are at the footy. You see the parents put the headphones on them because it's I think it is a little bit overwhelming for a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking them as backup.
Oh, absolutely. It's sensory overload. That's the thing, especially in an environment like that if they've never been in it.
Yeah, I sit right behind the cheer squad, and obviously they're loud in front and they're loud behind, so it's just noise all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. You almost need to take them to the top deck to shield them a bit.
You know what? Against the Eagles, I might just do that. I might just walk up the top for a better view as well.
Especially gives them some room to sort of run around the aisles or something if you can't keep them in the one spot. I know my one will be like that. She won't be able to stay in the one spot, so might need to go up in the top deck somewhere and she can have a row to herself.
Yeah. Wear them out too.
Is it all allocated seating?
We're talking, it'll be the West Coast game. It's round 11, I think Ben said. So I mean, you're looking probably at a lowly crowd there.
Well, I'll tell you the possible the definite game I'm going to is the Geelong game, because
Pendles.
It's a home game, and I'm possibly going to probably going to Anzac Day. If my mate can't get me MCC tickets, I'm going to try my arm with public tickets and have a battle with Ticketek or whatever you got to do. So I sort of know my strategy there. Possibly Hawthorn, but definitely Geelong. What's my best way to get a seat for the Geelong game?
Well, it's a Geelong home game, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it's our home game, that one.
No, it's their home game at the G.
Hawthorn's the home game.
Yeah, I think Hawthorn is. Yeah, that's our home game. Yes.
Okay,
On a
all
Thursday.
right. So
You can already buy tickets, I believe, for the Geelong game.
Yeah.
okay. So should I go try and get something in the Ponsford stand?
Actually, I'm just clicking on it now. Public reserve. So yeah, you can. Apparently, you can get tickets now for the Geelong match.
Right, that's what I'll do. And
it's saying barcode numbers, so I don't know. Maybe it's not public. Maybe it's members. I'm not sure.
So would it pay for me to get a 3-game membership to, not going to get my value
possibly,
probably,
but check what the exclusions are because some games are excluded.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sure if the 3-gamer covers any away games either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true.
So your Geelong game, you might just have to cough up full quid just for a public ticket.
Yeah,
would probably be your best bet because that's an away fixture for us. The Hawthorn game, look, it depends how long you're here for, but you're probably just better just buying a public reserve for that as well.
Yeah.
Unless you want ripper seats. If you want ripper seats, then you might.
Look at this fucking lineup.
What's that in the background, Mick?
Pardon?
What's that in the background?
This is the smoker's hut at my work.
Ah.
Oh, you're literally having smoko.
Yes, I'm on my lunch break. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll stick around for about half an hour or so. And what's the subject? I've been listening to everything. Yeah. Up until about 5 minutes ago. What's the subject we're on it now?
One now is
shit.
my strategy of how to get seats to the matches when I'm going to be in Australis.
All right. So with the Hawthorn game, I can give you my barcode, but that's just for one seat. That's If you want to go with someone else, it'll be hard. Like you won't be able to sit next to them.
No, it'll be me and the missus.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's just a matter of going onto the ticket tech and trying to get the best possible seats.
Yeah.
For the public.
Yeah.
But so with you being a member.
Yep.
You're a member, Mick, right?
Yes.
Yep. So what's your strategy? Will you be able to get seats to the Geelong game? Or would you have to?
Is that our home or away game?
It's away.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. But with the away games, because I'm not privileged like Mr. Zero over there, I get fucking shit nosebleed seats, and I usually just go down to the standing area. Yeah. And that's better anyway because you can knock beers down. So yeah.
Okay.
But
okay, gotcha.
I should be able to procure some, like an extra 2. Every time I go to the games, I meet up with 2 or 3 other people, and like if one of them aren't going, then I can get a seat and whatever, But if I get in early, I can get some extra ones. I should be able to.
Okay. Yeah, because we're going to be in Melbourne that night because we fly back on the Sunday.
All right.
So I'm going to be in Melbourne anyway, and even if the seats aren't that great, it's still going to go.
And that could be a huge night too, because you imagine Pendles gets a rest for the Hawthorn match, being so close to Anzac Day, and we might be getting his record breaker that night. So that'd be a grouse one to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it'll be one of those games. I think
they're hinting. I read something that came out. The Craig Kelly and whoever's in charge of Geelong have already had some preliminary talks about the Geelong game. So I got a feeling they might be setting it up for that. Obviously, barring injury and whatever else. But yeah, I think the Geelong game is probably the most likely.
Unless Pendles gets suspended for farting.
Yeah, well.
There's G'day, Chris.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, welcome. How you doing, mate?
How are you?
Good. We only need Shawnee, and then we'd have the dream team almost.
Yeah. Well, if Shawnee comes on, you know you're on till fucking 6 in the morning, mate. That man can talk for fucking years, mate, about Collingwood. Oh, he's a legend, mate. He's a legend.
Yeah, he can talk.
Sure.
So, yeah, no, he's definitely an asset to have on a stream.
Oh yeah.
Like you know, the first one last night, like the missus has ordered some really good food, like the best Thai foods, like a whole bass, and like a dozen huge prawns. And I'm just like, oh, she's like, aren't you going to eat? And she said, are you still streaming? And I thought, hang on a sec, I've got Shawnee on. Guys, I'm going to just go have a feed. And I went into the living room and I just put my own stream on YouTube and had dinner with the missus.
Yeah.
She said, babe, don't they need you? I said, no, not at the moment. They don't.
Yeah. I can't wait till the VFL starts because he knows everything about all our young guns and yeah.
I tell you what, there's a bunch of young footy players on the list who can't wait for the VFL as well.
Yeah.
About time.
Yeah.
It's really dumb that they start that late and finish it early, you know?
Yeah. So the VFL game on Friday starts at 3, I imagine, yeah?
Not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it starts at 3. Anthony's going to do a watch along, so that'll be good. Listen along to that.
It's now on Fox, apparently.
Yeah, it's on KO. Yeah.
So, and that means I get it on my Watch AFL app. So I can have that ticking along in the background while I'm working. Fantastic.
Yeah.
AFL preseason. Or maybe I don't get it.
Depends. I think there's a game a month on ABC. Is that right? Or is it? I don't actually know the breakdown of it, but I know it's going to be on 3 separate platforms this year. So yeah, it's one of those things. It'll just be a week-to-week thing, I think.
Yeah.
So
it's not showing
definitely
up
on KO. Definitely on KO. Yep.
Wow. I think I might be able to get it through the AFL website or something like that.
Oh, yep. It says
because you're international.
AFL.com.au.
Yeah, I think because you're international, you should be able to tune into any of them. I'm pretty sure. It might just be geo-restricted for us to certain platforms, certain games, but I reckon you'll be able to get everything through the AFL app.
Even Collingwood are advertising it, free on the AFL.com.au. That was a Facebook post. So, it's likely you should be right wherever you are,
Yeah.
Who's going on Friday night? Are you going?
Not me.
Ben?
No.
Nah, mate. Tried to talk myself into it and organise a few things, but I had to manoeuvre too much around. So I claimed the tickets, but I haven't. I just don't reckon I'll get there. So 90% chance I won't.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be watching it on telly on Friday night. Yeah, I can't get there either. I knock off and I've only got half an hour to get there, and it's like fuck that. Just going home, watch it at home. And that
when I go, I've got to have my steak.
Anyway. Yeah,
I've got to have my steak pre-game on South Bank. I'm not going.
You've got a real routine there, ritual,
mate. I'm not superstitious, but I just need to have a full tummy and be relaxed to get in there. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing. I never understand how people just, they sort of leave home at 6:30 and they get to the ground at like 2 minutes to the first bloody toss now. it makes no sense to me. I've always had a ritual where I've always lived out in the eastern suburbs, so I'll always either take a train or a tram into Richmond, meet a few people there, have a beer or two, maybe a feed, depends how much time you got. And then I always walk from, wherever I am on Punt Road. I'll always walk to the G from there, a few darts along the way, and then get in there, get a beer, relax and watch the game. I just don't understand how some people, they literally leave it to the last second, get in, park or train, and then bang in their seats, first ball up. Like it just, I've never been able to do that. I need to have like a 2-hour runway.
Yeah. Yeah. The good old days where you like get there fucking early as and watch the whole fucking reserves, mate.
Oh, yeah.
The Vic Park days, mate. Fuck.
A whole day event,
Yeah. Like, remember we used to pack Vic Park with 30,000? Like, you were talking about it, you guys were talking about it before, and that was a good crowd, 30,000 against fucking Carlton sometimes, And they're fucking saying, Collingwood only got 60-odd thousand against Adelaide. It's like, fuck, mate, who's going to get that, mate? Who's going to get that? Who else is going to get that crowd, man? Fucking hell.
Did you watch when we were reacting to the Sporting Eyes?
Yes, I listened to the whole thing, man. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a bit riddling what he was going on about, Yeah,
he is all over the place. He just included Collingwood and Richmond just to make it like a nice little package, for his followers, to share and like and fucking shit, It should have been just talk about Carlton Essendon, mate. They've been a laughing stock
that's what
years, mate.
That's what they're saying, because Richmond and Collingwood are so different, but different in different ways. Like the way he's comparing Richmond with Essendon, and like we were all saying, I'd much rather be a Richmond supporter right now than an Essendon supporter.
Yeah.
There's something to be excited about.
Oh,
and then what was ironic? What was ironic is then he started comparing Hawthorn and Geelong to those four teams. And so you're just talking about how Collingwood's about to fall off a cliff because we're too old. And we've pretty much got the exact same, the same strategy as Geelong.
Yeah.
But Geelong never get criticised for it.
Yeah. That's why I have a sneaking suspicion he's a Geelong fan,
Benny said, the other Ben said he messaged him once and he's a Bulldogs fan.
Oh, okay.
But so.
But that's the thing with us, mate. We just got to clock the wins up, mate. Just be thereabouts up until halfway, and then you just got to turn it on at the end, mate. Brisbane does it every fucking year. They just turn it on at the end.
Yep.
Hawthorn used to do it. That's all, man.
You know what we've got to do when we've got an opportunity. We've got an undermanned, out of form GWS, and we've got to take this opportunity and come out firing, and be 4 or 5 goals up after quarter time.
Oh, that'll be the day, mate.
I don't think that's going to happen, though.
You know how it'll play out, mate.
Yeah,
you know how it'll play out.
If we win, it'll just be a workman-like fucking 2-goal win, mate. 1-goal win or something.
Always. We'll either be down. You can almost guarantee at some point during the game we'll be down. It's just it always plays to the same script. Unfortunately, we never just put, apart from Port Adelaide, we'll never put 5, 6, 7 goals on a team and just bury them early. It just doesn't happen.
If I would use one word to describe the Fly Collingwood team the last 4 years, is we are reactive.
Yeah.
How many times have you ever seen us be proactive, where we just go out and stamp we do it against Port Adelaide?
Yeah.
That's it.
And every week you see Hawthorn just smash teams, and all the lowly teams, the big teams always just fucking demolish them. We never do it. It just shits me.
Yeah. No, it's just, yeah, it's always been the flaw. Well, you can't really call it a flaw, but it's always been a thing where you just can't put a team away early. I can never recall just burying a team, going in at quarter time, we're 5-6 goals up, and, you know, it just does not happen.
Oh, we'll get 5-6 goals up, and then we'll let them back to within a goal and make ourselves crap our pants.
I know. It's just, follows the same script. The biggest example was the Melbourne game at the end of last year. You know, a game that we just had to win, and Melbourne are in front with, 5 minutes to go. It's just, it's even when there's like, it's a non-negotiable and we just have to get a good result. Even in those games, you just can't.
Is that motivation?
And that's why it annoys you. It takes until the last quarter.
Yeah, it's been 4 years of it.
It's just hard. It's hard because look, we've gotten results. Like his record, his win-loss is good. It gets results, but it's just so frustrating that, you can count on our hands how many times we've buried a team real early. It just doesn't happen. It's usually an arm wrestle, and magically we're 2 or 3 goals in front at the end, and that's about it.
Do you think that mantra, like, I don't know if it was last year or the year, maybe the year we won the flag, or even the year before, that the mantra was play the moments?
Yeah.
And that's reactive, isn't it? Well, we've got to, we're 3 goals down. All right, let's play the moment. We've got to kick 3 goals.
I guess you could also
just
say
play well as much as you possibly can. Sorry, mate.
That's true. Say in boxing terms, right? You see the guys a bit tired. Okay, I'll advance a bit now, and when they get a bit of energy up, I'll defend a bit. I think there's a bit of that element to it as well. So I would love, though, for us to flick the switch and make the other team react a bit more often and say, all right, you've got to catch up on what our plan is. And that's what I wanted last week. It's like, why the hell are we reacting, and very late, by the way, to Adelaide all of a sudden changing the roles a bit? We were too slow at flipping our plan to something else, and we ran out of time. We couldn't get it done. Small blemish on a pretty good record. We normally do it all right, but I just want to see more of us setting the tone.
Yeah.
Do you reckon the club is happy with Fly? Like the general, just everything?
We're always in it, Like very rarely do we get spanked. Very rarely under him, So that is
true.
If you always have a chance, that's better than you're rocking up and you're like, another flogging today,
Yeah. Under Fly, we've never gone into a match and not rocked up. Maybe the Gold Coast game last year.
The odd Hawthorn game.
Yeah, but the Hawthorn situation's been well before bloody Fly's time. But very, very rarely have we just not showed up to a game under Fly. So, you compare that to other teams, like we're generally okay in that aspect. We always, we're always competitive, but it's one of those things where we're always competitive, but we never just put teams away. We're always just that in-between sort of team where, we're either going to lose by a goal or 2 or we win by a goal or 2. Just never. I've missed the days of just, 2011 Malthouse where you just knew we were going to win by 60 points, We're playing a shit team, we're just going to win by 10 goals. Like, it was just an absolute no-brainer. And it was the easiest watch of all time because we'd put the first 4 on them and they haven't even bloody scored. And you just know, all right, the next couple of hours are just going to be nice, easy viewing. I don't think once under Fly. Maybe the Carlton game last year, the second time we played them, where we just sort of, but rarely, very rarely have we just put a team to the sword real early.
Geez, that was one that got away to 2011.
Oh, mate.
3 losses to the same team. Killer.
And but I think that was psychological, a lot of it. plus playing injured players in the grand final didn't help.
Yeah. That was silly.
Just timed our run really badly.
Yeah, too much trust on the last day in September, unfortunately.
Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, I'm going to call it a night. This has been a pleasure, though.
Hey, mate, thanks for joining. Great to have you, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I love a good chat. So, as you know, I'll catch the next one. That's going to be good fun. I like this.
All right. Well, it'll just be impromptu a lot of the time, but
yeah, cool.
Filling up a bit of the air during the week, and after a presser, we can after Anthony, and when Mick's doing one, I'll jump on his and share the love.
Nah, it's good fun, mate. Good stuff and good hosting, mate. Like I said, I haven't finished yesterday's replay. I'm going to finish it off tomorrow sometime. But yeah, it was good hosting, mate. It was good.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Too easy, guys. I'll catch you later.
All right. See you,
Benny.
Ciao.
All right.
See you, Benny.
We lost Mick too. Yeah, we lost him.
So yeah, I'm with that. I always need a bit of time preparation before the game as well. So I like to get a couple of beers into me, a couple of sickies, and just sort of calm the nerves a little bit. Can't just rock up and just
I just
and I enjoy that. I enjoy that hour or two before the game to just sort of, know, because when the game starts, it's like business.
Yeah,
can't relax.
The thing. I can't enjoy watching any Pies game really, so I need to get my enjoyment prior and even after sometimes. But the build-up's important because that's one thing. I got a mate who he's a Pom. He's been here since he was a kid, but he goes back there a fair bit. And he just says, man, I just don't understand your culture when it comes to the footy. Like, people will rock up with 2 minutes before the bounce. Like it blows my mind because, in London and, most of the soccer supporting sort of countries, it's a full day event,
Yeah.
And I know logistically it's not always, it's not always easy. Obviously people have got work, they've got families and whatever else, but he said there's a big culture of the build up to the game, then the game, and then, either kick-ons, which might just be as simple as, going back to someone's house or, going to a pub, and they've got a lot of supporter pubs, in England and stuff like that. He just says, I just don't get it with you guys. Like most of you just rock up with, 5 minutes to go or even bloody the game's already started and people filter in, and he just said it just makes no sense to me because the passion's there, but the culture of, building up to a game isn't there, And of course, there's a few people that do it, but it's just not. It's not the same, But yeah, I've always been like that. Like I said, I need a 2-hour runway most of the time. I can't just rock up and sit down and off we go. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to wind this down, lads, and go get myself a feed. But thanks very much, Age and Chris, for jumping on, and thanks to everyone else who joined us tonight. Thanks for everyone in the chat. And what am I up to? I think I hit 10 subscribers, so it's my first milestone.
Beautiful, mate.
So thanks to anyone who subscribed. 20's around the corner. Don't worry about that.
Beautiful, mate.
So keep an eye out, guys. I'll try to do it. Jump on just at the drop of a hat, or I might plan something. And by the way, if you have like TheSportingEyes one, Mick put it in the Discord chat, so I thought, that'd be great to react to. So anything, whether it's the YouTube media or idiots in the mainstream media, we can react to whatever, and good stuff as well. Like one of the other Collingwood channels do a show, we can watch it together.
Perfect, mate. Sounds good to me.
Okay, all right.
I agree.
All
right, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks again. Yep. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Cheers.